Hello and welcome back to KGC Engineering and to our mini project. Now if you've seen the previous video, you'll know that I've got the inner wing on the left hand side pretty much in as a first trial fit. Now I've actually spent a little bit of time before doing this video just getting it in better and a little bit more adjusted so it fits, really nice. So my plan today, in this video actually, is to get our other wing fully welded in and ground down, so that then we can start moving on to getting the scuttle panel done underneath the windscreen there, with the hope that eventually we can get the front wing, the proper top wings on as well. So let's have a look at the next stage. Right, now then, as I said, I've spent a bit of time this morning sorting out getting this wing in a lot better, and for a lot of that it was really actually getting the bracket mounts on the other side, the fixed nuts or bolts, fixed nuts sorted out, because obviously when I took this off in the previous video, I ended up snapping the bolts heads off, 3 of them. So this case, if I needed to get those off, I was able to actually remove the remaining part of the bolt, and I've re-tapped them and put at the moment just a couple of bolts in, because if we're very careful you may just be able to see that the actual wing panel itself doesn't quite line up with where it needs to. So what I need to do is, when I take the wing off in a minute or two, is to just open those holes up just a little bit, just so that we can actually get the new one of these brackets back on properly, so it's all going to mount in nice. So everywhere else on it does, however, fit really well. And if we have a look inside as well, we can also see that all the joints down here are nice and tight, even the ones up here on the parcel shelf there. Everything is in nice and tight, and I'm happy that the inner wing is in the correct place. It's the best fit that it's going to be, so I'm happy to go ahead now and basically go around anywhere we've got one of these little lap joints that I cleaned up yesterday, and I'll mark around them, as you may well have seen in either the previous video to yesterday, so like 2 videos ago, when I did the other side, so that we can mark out to get it welded. So I'll crack on with that, and then we can start doing some drilling. Right, well, I've got the inner wing out now because I've marked it all up, which you may just about be able to see on the video there. And basically, I know I mentioned this in the previous video when I put the other inner wing in. Basically, what I like to do is go between where I've marked out where the joints are that we're going to weld to. I will go along each one, and about every inch or so I'll put a mark on it, because that's going to give us a good number of decent welds in there. This is essentially where we're going to be welding, and then where I've got 2 sides, I will literally just aim straight down the middle of those, so that we've got the weld right in the middle of the joint. So I'll just carry on and mark this up, but once I have sort of marked it up, obviously where I've got my little crosses, that's where we're going to be drilling. So that's obviously where we're going to put the centre punch mark, and then obviously drill through. So I don't need to show you that, because I did show it on the previous video, and it's sort of common sense. It makes sense you know, if you're doing this kind of restoration work, you'll sort of know how to use a centre punch, I'm sure, for your drilling. Drill sizes, again, I'll start off with something like a 2 or 3 mil and go up to something like a 6.5 or 7. So I've got a decent hole to actually weld up onto the other panels. So I'll just crack on and get this marked up and centre punched and then start drilling. Right, well, that's all our holes drilled for us to fill with weld, obviously onto the back onto the car. So all I need to do now is to go along literally where I have drilled and just make sure that there's no burrs or anything that are going to get in the way. So I'll do that with the power file. Again, I'll get rid of the rest of that sticker as well. And then we're ready to start looking at getting it back on the car, lined up, and hopefully, in place. I must remember to open those 2 holes up a bit as well for that mounting bracket. So I'll do that whilst I remember. Well, as you can see, I've got the wing back in place and it's all lined up. All the holes are lined up nicely with the tabs on the rest of the body shell. So we're pretty much good to go with welding it now. Now you may remember from the previous video when I did the other side, so that's like 2 videos ago, I used a number of screws to help pull the joints together. So I'm going to do that again, purely because it does just help get that nice close gap that we want. So we don't have any big gaps. We've got it's nice and close, pulls it in nice and tight, and generally makes the job a lot neater, but also makes it a lot stronger as well. It's a much more stronger joint. So I'll go through as I did the other side now and drill, put the screws in, weld it, take them out, weld those bits, move on to the next section. I'll just work my way around the wing now, probably start here in the middle, end up there, down there, across the bottom, get all this side in, and then tie the front end in, I think is going to be my plan of action. So I'll see you in a little bit. Right, well, I've finally got the welding done, so the wing is all in place, nice and solid there, which is obviously a good position to be able to leave it in. So I suppose really we need to test this, so let's see if the top ring to fit on, and looking at it, I think we're not going to be too far off with that at all. It does, you know, fit on there, and I think with a little bit of pulling here and there, I think that's going to go in really quite nice on there. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. It's actually lined up better than when I had it this morning, to be fair. The wing's got on quite nicely there. So I think it's more that we need to pull this little bit back just a tad there, which we can do, which, you know, is easy enough to sort out. But the rest of it has, you know, it's gone on quite nicely, and it'll certainly line up with the rest of, you know, the other panels. Once, you know, get the other wing on the other side and the bonnet, and obviously get the scuttle panel in there. It'll all tie in really quite nicely, that. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So the next job on here is obviously going to be to grind down all those welds from today. I think I'll probably do that tomorrow. That's taking quite a bit longer than I thought it might, so I'll do that tomorrow. I won't bother recording that one because it's just me grinding, and, you know, it's not really much to show you in that kind of video. So the next video is likely to be, you know, putting in the scuttle panel across the front there, which will be really quite a good one to do. I think it's going to be quite an interesting task to do, and should hopefully be a nice interesting video for you. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, don't forget to give us, you know, the good old thumbs up, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well, as it really does help us out quite a bit. So until next time, happy classic motoring.